want you here at the lake cottage by the end of the week. I'm going to prepay an airline ticket to Atlanta for you, and Joe will pick you up at the airport. I'd do it, but I don't want to expose Michael to some of those germs floating around airports. And you can't bear to leave the baby yet, Margaret Douglas teased. How old is he? 6 months? 6 months going on 6 years, Eve said softly. He's totally amazing, Margaret. You'll see him when you get here. Yes, I'm besotted, but at least I'm trying to expose him to other people and experiences. That's why I'm demanding your presence. He should get to know my friend Margaret, who helped save both my life and his big sister Kara's. How soon can you get here? What are you doing now? I'm working at the San Diego Zoo, but it's mostly volunteer. She thought about it. 4 days' notice. But you don't have to buy me a ticket. I know a pilot for a movie company who has a studio in Atlanta whom I can hitch a ride. No, Eve said immediately. No hitching rides with anyone. Not safe. Joe lectured you about that the last time. She paused. Is it that you don't have ID in your own name to get on a commercial plane? Don't worry about it. This pilot is a good guy and he owes me for a hush, Margaret, Eve said resignedly. Under what name should I buy this ticket? And don't give me any bull about it not being necessary. Someday I'm going to persuade you to tell me what's going on with you, but I owe you too much to force it right now. I just want you here to meet my son. What name? Eve wasn't going to be dissuaded. Oh well, she really wanted to see Eve's baby. She'd find a way to reimburse her later for the airline ticket. I've always liked the name Margaret Rollins. You've got it, Eve said. It will be at Delta Airlines in 4 days. She was silent an instant. Everything okay with you, Margaret? Everything's always okay with me. What could be wrong? That's what I want to know. You're the closest thing to a gypsy that I've ever met, and you're always operating under the radar. Put those two things together and it usually spells trouble. Not for me. It's all in the attitude. I'll see you in a few days, Eve. Yeah. Take care, Margaret. She hung up. And I'll probably be bombarded with subtle and not-so-subtle questions when I reach the lake cottage, she thought as she hung up. No problem. She was used to fielding questions, and Eve would be so involved with that new baby and her career as a top forensic sculptor that she wouldn't press it too far. Baby. That reminded Margaret of Zaran and the brand new tiger cub. She needed to find a solution on how to make the tigress accept the cub before she left for Atlanta, which meant she should get working on it right now. If she couldn't work out the problem with a few suggestions to the vet about the way to handle it, she might have to pull an all-nighter on her own. Tigers were never easy. Females were twice as difficult when they were as unstable as Zaran. So, get moving so that she could finish her job before she left to go to see Eve and her son, Michael. She finished her Coke, got to her feet, and headed for the clinic. She could feel the happiness zinging through her at the thought of all the new things on the horizon, babies and tiger cubs and friends she could love and trust. She wished she could explain to Eve that, in the end, nothing else was really important. All the fear and the running could be handled as long as she kept one truth in mind. Life is good. Summer Island, Caribbean. Yes, I see him now, Officer Craig. He's near the exercise fields, talking to one of the techs. Dr. Devon Brady's narrowed gaze was fixed on the tall man in khakis and a black shirt who was talking to Judy Wong beside the high white wooden fence. His back was to her, but she knew a great deal about body language, and she relaxed a little. No sign of aggression that I can tell, but you were right to let me know he was on the island. I don't know how the hell he got this far without a security escort. I don't know either, Craig said grimly. He flew in early this morning and just slipped under the radar. Johansen was on duty at the airport terminal.